We are learning tonight that another notorious killer who led police on a global manhunt that ended at an internet cafe in Berlin more than a decade ago has been transferred out of a maximum security prison. CTV's Judy Trin has the details.
Luca Magnotta made international headlines in 2012 for killing Chinese university student Jun Lin, then mailing his hands and feet to political parties and schools. Magnotta spent nearly a decade in maximum security, but today we learned he's been living in medium security since 2022.
So for today's video, we're going to be talking about a story that came out earlier today about the convicted killer Luca Magnotta. Now, I would say most Canadians know this name by now, and if you ever watched Netflix, you probably came across this as well, as they did a true crime documentary on this individual called Don't F with Cats.
I was on Facebook one day,
and I found this video. I pressed play.
It was the worst video I've ever seen.
He needs to be stopped immediately.
People went nuts. So we started looking. He could have been anywhere on the planet.
This person wants to play a game of cat and mouse, and I'm up for that.
Now, after being caught and that documentary coming out, he's been in prison for over a decade now in high security, yet this is what they said was the reason for moving him to medium security.
In making its decision, the Correctional Services of Canada says it balanced many factors, including public safety risks, safe, secure, and humane treatment, and victims' rights.
Now, I'm not really sure how they're factoring in humane treatment and victim rights, as Luca Magnotta took away the rights of that victim in an inhumane way. Yet, they still thought it was a good idea to move him to a medium security facility with another famous Canadian killer, none other than Paul Bernardo, who, if you remember, a few years ago was in the news, and that caused issues in the Liberal cabinet.
Said guards told him Magnotta is there, along with another notorious killer. Bernardo was convicted for raping and killing 3 teenage girls, including his sister-in-law. Bernardo was quietly transferred to medium security last year, resulting in a political firestorm. Shortly after, former Public Security Minister Marco Mendicino was tossed from cabinet.
Now, if you were wondering why you weren't seeing Mendicino's face in the back of the question period anymore, that's why. But listen to what this senator has to say in regards to human rights and Luca Magnotta.
Senator Kim Pate, who has researched the prison system, says the transfer is being politicized.
The fact that having human rights in prison somehow equates to condoning bad behavior is just the opposite. Presumably, when people go to prison, we want them to work on the very issues that brought them there in the first place.
Now, I'm sorry to say, and this could just be my opinion, but I don't think human rights should be a factor in here when this guy took away human rights as well as life from somebody else. And I don't see how moving him from high security to medium security is going to allow him to work on what he did wrong or figure out how to not do that again. He's got a mental illness. You should keep him locked up in high security. Now, the interesting part about this whole situation is this article that CTV covered just basically talks about the move. However, another article that came out talked about how the Toronto Sun actually uncovered some documents from Luca Magnotta's psychiatric team. And according to this article, this is because Luca wants to be a woman. So he is now asking to be called by Violet. They are using female pronouns within their documentation of him. And as the article states, what he did to Lynn, about the documentary. Here's a photo of the individual. Here's a photo of the victim. It goes down to state, according to the psychiatric assessment from 2 years ago, the murderer told doctors, "Gay is a choice, trans is who I am." Yet it goes on to state how they didn't find this to be the case, still transferred him anyways? It says doctors said that they did not believe Magnotta truly wanted to transition. His desires to be a T-woman, which were first mentioned in October of 2021, were a way to reshape himself to preserve the illusion of specialness and innocence. And throughout this whole little article here, you're going to see them keep using female pronouns for him, yet they don't believe that he is trans. They just believe that he's an effeminate gay man. So I don't understand why they're placating to this. Magnotta also informed the psychiatric team that his killer's husband would be coming with him to his new prison because apparently he married an inmate, Anthony Jolin, in 2017 at the maximum security prison, who is also guilty of first-degree murder. He killed his inmate in 2003. So again, we're having all these people with mental illness who are dangerous, who are locked up in high security, and moving them into medium security for what? Again, what is the reason? Well, let's continue. It states, during his trial, experts claim that Magnotta was not of sound mind at the time of Lynn's murder, citing schizophrenia as the motivator behind his actions. That's a bunch of BS. According to the report published by The Sun, McGill University's Sexual Identity Center said that the killer didn't meet the criteria for gender dysphoria, and instead his feelings were the result of fragile identity and need to periodically reinvent himself. A doctor said that he is suffering from internal homophobia, and by saying that he is now wants to be T, he is using the narrative of being born in the wrong body as a way for this patient to wipe the slate clean once again. The medical officer said Magnotta was maybe trying to reshape himself to preserve the illusion of specialness. The 2022 report from doctors at McGill suggested that Magnotta ideally would work with someone he trusts sufficiently to be able to get in touch with his internalized homophobia, understand its roots and how it's affected his identity development, and eventually undo it. He may then be able to find peace and even pride in living as an effeminate gay man, which seems more in keeping with his longitudinal history. You see what I'm saying? How they keep implementing these female pronouns when they clearly are stating that he's not T, he's just an effeminate gay man. Yet they want to keep placating to this. I don't understand it. As a result, the doctor's report recommended that the murderer be offered space and support to explore around a proper gender identity exploration that would allow Violet to express and present his gender as he sees fit, and for him to experience living within his gender identity. Like, this is all bananas and BS. You have a sick, deranged individual who killed somebody, chopped them up, and sent their body across to different people, yet you're placating to this mental illness and allowing them to move into a lower security facility for, again, what reason? To potentially explore a gender ideology that you think they don't even suffer from? I don't know. I just don't get it. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this whole situation. Leave your comments in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Thanks so much.